We have some very distinguished people here today. I'm just going to point out one or two. And Sir Ranulph Fiennes being one, Peter Egan being the other. They have been with the campaign to ban trophy hunting literally from day one. In fact, before we even got going as a charity. And Vicky Michelle, Jan Leeming, they have been very strong voices and very good at nabbing MPs and bullying them very nicely and in the charming way that they do so naturally. And thank you, because really, I think that we would not be here today. We probably wouldn't have a campaign to ban trophy hunting if it wasn't for all your work and support for us. So thank you for that. And we have some very distinguished members of the media here today as well. And I do want to give a shout out to our colleagues in the press, because they've been reporting this issue like there's no tomorrow. And rightly so, because this is an issue of very great importance to the British public. 86% of people in Britain want all trophy hunting banned, and they have spoken for the people, and it's amazing that we've seen, if you like, every single title in the British media has gotten behind this issue. We have many of our NGO partners here today. I'll very quick name check for some of them: Animal Aid, Animal Defenders International, Born Free, Four Paws, Humane Society, Lion Aid, One Kind, RSPCA, Voice for Lions, World Animal Protection, Zimbabwe Elephant Foundation. I probably missed a few, but there are so many of us working together in collaboration. It's been a fantastic campaign on that basis. So thank you, all of the above, for everything that you've done in getting us to where we are. And of course, parliamentarians. This has and is a cross-party issue. Let's make no doubt about this. When EDM 1829 was put down in the last session, 178 MPs from 8 different political parties, including 5 Westminster leaders, put their names to it. And although Tracy's EDM has only just gone down, we've already got MPs from 7 parties who've put their names to it. And a few months ago, we had a debate in Westminster Hall, a few doors down. Luke Pollard was one of the speakers there. We had this extraordinary situation of MPs of all different parties violently and furiously agreeing with one another. What a wonderful sight to behold. So, those MPs who do and can sign EDMs, we do have a copy of Tracy's EDM here. You can sign it and we can arrange for it to be tabled, or you can take it yourself, but please do sign it. We want to send a really loud message. This is something that the whole of Parliament, MPs of all stripes and colours, are firmly behind, because essentially this is what the public in Britain want today. You're going to hear from some experts about the impact of trophy hunting on endangered species and on local communities. You're going to hear some wonderful public figures who are going to be talking about why Britain should take a lead on this issue. You're probably also going to be lobbied at some point, if you haven't already been, by representatives and supporters of the trophy hunting community. And they're going to tell you things like, oh, it's well managed, it's sustainable, it provides lots of jobs for people, it is something that isn't that great a threat to species, and in fact it could even support conservation, and so on and so forth. Well, we've just handed in a 200-page dossier of evidence to DEFRA as part of the consultation, in which I think it's fair to say we respectfully beg to differ. And we say a number of things, including that the trend is upwards here in Britain. So there's actually 12 times as many trophies coming into the country as there were in the 1980s, when CITES came into force. It shows that a fast-growing number of captive bred animals are being shot by British hunters. And we're not just talking about lions, we're talking about leopards, we're talking about zebras, we're talking about monkeys. There's even cases of canned bears and rhinos coming into Britain. And we show that foreign hunters are jetting into Britain to shoot a species of deer that's classed as extinct in the wild, like IUCN, and they're even coming to shoot buzzards and owls and other birds as well. And trophy hunting is often a front for poaching and for wildlife trafficking. You look at the data and you can see that hundreds of trophies and horns of rhinos are being taken by so-called trophy hunters. You're seeing the same with crocodile skins. Sometimes thousands of crocodile skins are being taken in very precise numbers, batches of 500, 1,000, 2,000. You're seeing the same with bears as well, and where bears are being shot by Chinese hunters for their gallbladders and then going into the Asian market. And this is happening because the law as it stands today allows trophy hunters to get away with it. They are posed as trophy hunters, exploiting a law in CITES which lets trophy hunters shoot the most endangered species on the planet in some cases. And we also show that hunting trophies are being traded for animals you would not expect, including whales, dolphins, chimpanzees, and even endangered parrots. So when trophy hunting advocates tell you that it's good for conservation, you might want to ask them, why then do scientists say that the species of lion, its gene pool, has shrunk by 15% over the last century as a result of persecution, and that there are now so few left that taking just 5% of the remaining adult males may be enough to push them over the brink? You might want to ask them, why is it that scientists say that elephant tusks are shrinking? They're now about a third shorter than they were a generation ago, and you've got many more tuskless elephants that are being born now. And what that is an indicator of a weakening gene pool, which means they're going to be less able to adapt and to survive to drought and to disease, especially in a changing climate. And you can tell them that trophy hunters killed 20 million animals in Africa alone over the past century, and that they were responsible for the extinction of the quagga, the bluebot, local extinctions of the Dorcas gazelle and the Nubian bustard, and that they continued, in some cases right up to the 1990s, to shoot in large numbers scimitar-horned oryxes, addaxes, and dama gazelles. Now, the scimitar-horned oryx is today extinct in the wild. There are as few as 100 dama gazelles and perhaps just 30 addaxes. And when trophy hunters tell you that it's sustainable, and they say, well, shooting 100 cheetahs a year, that's not very much, is it? Okay, well, when there's a population of fewer than 7,000 cheetahs remaining in the wild, shooting 100 cheetahs, just for fun, is the equivalent in human terms of killing every year the entire population of every single capital city in Europe, of some of the world's largest cities, including Tokyo, New Delhi, New York, Beijing, and of every resident in every major British city, every year. When they tell you that it's well managed, ask them about how in Zimbabwe the government handed out permits for trophy hunters to shoot elephants in order to raise money to build a football stadium. When they say it helps to stop poachers, ask them about the rhinos that were wiped out in Mozambique when they promoted trophy hunting to stop traffickers. And when they say it's no big deal, ask them if they've read the US congressional report, which shows that today the combined rate of trophy hunting and poaching is greater than the annual birth rate of the African elephant. But perhaps the most important question that needs to be asked, and that we ourselves as a society should be asking, is why is it still lawful to kill living, sentient, intelligent beings just so that some people who enjoy the thrill of killing can boast about their prowess? Scientists have established beyond doubt that animals feel fear, they feel pain, and they feel loss. Yet the industry is now promoting new awards in which it encourages hunters to shoot animals in new and novel ways, including lions and elephants using bows and arrows and handguns. As many as half of the animals that are shot by trophy hunters in some places aren't in fact killed outright. They end up being wounded, and the hunter then loses them. And so the animals then die a long, slow, painful death through sepsis and infection. And we document some of these instances in our submission, including a harrowing tale of a leopard that took 3 days to die. Now, we can help close this chapter in our history. 86% of people in Britain want all trophy hunting abolished. And this weekend, a number of us who are in this room are going to Downing Street to hand in petitions with over 1 million signatures on them. And you may have recently seen a letter in the Times in which over 150 scientists and conservationists and academics and leading public figures called for an end to trophy hunting imports and exports. Now, when an issue unites Liam Gallagher on the one hand, the father of the Prime Minister on the other, the readers of the Daily Mail and the Daily Mirror, the Catholic Church of England and Wales, and the inventor of the internet, surely that tells us it's game over for trophy hunting. This year, 2020, marks the 5th anniversary of the killing of Cecil the lion. let's also make it the year that we ban this wicked sport from Britain, that we stop people bringing back these sick souvenirs, and that Britain takes the lead on the international stage and helps abolish trophy hunting once and for all. Thank you.